You literally just weaponized that
didn't.
against me.
You called me crazy.
This is why you are such a dangerous person.
This content isn't good for you. Celebrity gossip has been around for decades, but the rise of cancel culture and drama channels creates cult-like followings behind people who are more interested in profit over people. There's a way to fix this though. Whether you're a super fan or you tend to avoid gossip in general, you've probably come across a drama channel before. Commentary videos have existed on YouTube since the very beginning. One of the longest running YouTube reporting channels is Phil DeFranco, who started uploading news-type content way back in 2006. His focus on the online world allowed people to stay informed and understand what was going on in the world of social media. And despite reporting on social media drama, he never really got too involved and stuck to facts rather than opinions. Over the years, a niche of so-called drama reporting has developed, and it's only ever gotten more popular. Mixing the opinion-based editorial-style content from commentary videos with the reporting of news channels, these channels act more like a tabloid, sort of like TMZ. One of the most notable channels that does this is Drama Alert from Keemstar, which helped popularize this style of content.
I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news!
Launched way back in 2014, Keemstar's format is pretty simple. 1. Cover the drama. 2. Highlight the concerns. 3. Share his opinions. And 4. Rinse and repeat with all the other things going on. This format is by far the most common in the drama niche, but there is a wide variety of content types being created, from interviews to commentary and even just objective reporting. Of course, this is because as the niche has grown, people have started to innovate more on the types of content that are being created, growing the niche to new boundaries. They all fall under the same category, but they're all so different. It's interesting though because a small handful of events led to this niche becoming so popular on YouTube, starting with Logan Paul back in 2017. Logan went to the Okigahara forest in Japan, well known to be the suicide forest, and vlogged a deceased person, claiming to be raising awareness for suicide prevention. The internet exploded when this happened. Creators, advertisers, and the platform itself all shunned Logan. Drama channels allowed people to understand what was happening in that moment and were pivotal to help create the change that came to YouTube afterwards to prevent this from ever happening again. After that, Shane Dawson's many cancellations contributed to the growth of the niche because people wanted to know what was going on. On top of that, the major drama between James Charles, Tati Westbrook, and other creators generated a ton of content opportunities there too. And most recently, David Dobrik's cancellation in 2021 was a major news story, and that helped grow this niche by a massive margin. All of that being said, the content that helped this niche grow the most is capitalizing on some of the worst moments in these content creators' lives. So why are people so obsessed with that? In 1997, Princess Diana died while speeding to try and evade paparazzi that had been tailing her car. In the 17 years previous to that moment, Diana had a very tumultuous relationship with the media, and the press wasn't always very kind to her. Taking a look back as far as 1704, there are documented examples of gossip-style reporting in the review by Daniel Defoe. Defoe is known to have been publicly shamed twice for his gossip-style reporting, much the same as social media would do now. Since the origin of our species, we've relied on gossip to stay informed on what's going on in our communities, tribes, etc. The reason for this is that centuries ago, we didn't come across strangers very often, and gossip allowed communities to stay informed about who was reliable to trust when new people came into our communities, serving as a defense mechanism. Nowadays, that doesn't help us survive, but we have a natural instinct to want to know what's happening in our worlds. This is because we developed something called parasocial relationships with creators, actors, and celebrities. These relationships are defined by one party having repeated exposure to the creator, which generates a friendship or an intimacy with them. But that is entirely one-sided. Often, the creator has no idea that you even exist. The way that it's represented for them is in numbers, in sales, and in subscribers. That leads to a financial or social interest for the creator to create more parasocial relationships with their fans. And over time, those parasocial relationships lead back to that instinctive gossip that we crave. Drama channels capitalize on a basic human intuition to want to know what's going on in our societies. But just because something is popular, it doesn't mean it's inherently good for us. As previously mentioned, parasocial relationships are one-sided. Getting involved in drama and gossip surrounding people you don't really know takes an emotional toll on you regardless of how the creator feels. These creators are going through major pivotal moments in their lives when they're being reported on and remain unimpacted by your take on the situation. This is where subjective reporting from channels like H3 and the BFF's podcast can become dangerous. Taking sides in conflicts and gossip that you are invested in but not impacted by can empower you to get more involved than it's worth. The greater benefit of getting involved in the gossip and participating in canceling a creator generally doesn't always have a net positive impact on the planet. However, if you do have to choose a side, having the whole picture allows you to make an informed choice. But those channels don't want you to do that. Their subjectivity gets more clicks, their involvement generates more drama, and that drama creates more clicks and thus more income. Beyond that, having one opinion dominate the mainstream silences the take of the other creator, who may need to express their take or their thoughts to heal, learn, and even grow. And this is made worse when a channel has a pattern of taking sides, such as Ethan, who always talks about certain creators he doesn't like, or Dave Portnoy, who constantly talks about friends of the program and actively calls out people he doesn't like. Cancel culture in its current form doesn't really work, and I think that drama channels have a big piece in why this is happening. But that can all change. Drama channels don't have to be subjective. Trying to understand why someone does something ridiculous is important to allow them to feel like they have the space to grow. Don't get me wrong, creators who do things that are awful, things that are wrong, they deserve accountability. But looking at people who do learn and grow after being canceled, it shows what can happen if you give people an opportunity to grow. How can that become a reality? Objective reporting is a start. Sharing the facts over sharing your opinion. It's a lot harder to make that work, but Phil DeFranco is proof that this can be a great strategy for long-term fans to stick by you. And if facts sometimes aren't enough and there is a pretty solid one-sided take on a situation, you can do what Casey Neistat did with Logan Paul in mid-2018 when he was in his growth arc, trying to learn from his mistakes. He asked hard-hitting, accountability-driven questions, but still allowed people another perspective than what was popular. He gave Logan a chance to explain where he was coming from. And if no one can hear that, how is he ever supposed to grow? When David Dobrik got canceled last year, he was totally shut down every time he spoke. What he did was objectively wrong, but accountability for him lasted longer than accountability for Dirty Dom, who was accused of committing a literal crime. This all draws back to the difference between subjectivity and accountability. You can have a take on a situation, but giving someone the ability to be held accountable is different than not changing your opinion no matter what happens. Refusing to listen is dangerous, because it causes people to go further down the rabbit hole, to go further down the path that got them there in the first place, because they're never given a chance to try and learn. And isn't that awful for our societies? Don't we want people to grow and be better? Give people the facts, explain why you feel a certain way, but let people draw their own conclusions. Gossip has been around for centuries, even millennia, but that doesn't mean we can't adjust how we gossip to make it less destructive. Be kind. Help people understand. Speaking of getting canceled, in this video I explain how Logan Paul was able to redeem himself after he got canceled. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll see you guys next Friday.